Bethesda keeps ruining everything it touches.
Then looking back at this new Skyrim update, many of the previous UI or even sometimes crashing issues associated with this new menu have now been resolved, so if you are somebody who is using this menu to browse for mods, whether that be free or paid, the entire experience should be a lot smoother and more usable now.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm surprised Bethesda actually fixed that. Not allowed someone to make a mod that fixes the crashes for them and sell that for money so they can get a little bit more. But honestly, hey, it only took Bethesda, what, a month-ish to fix this? That's almost like light speed for Bethesda. Usually they just don't fix it. But what a time to be alive. When it comes to making money in microtransactions, Bethesda's on the job, boys. Don't you worry about that. Anything else? No, let the modders fix it and put it in the shop for money and make us a little bit of that sweet green stuff. Oh man, you gotta hand it to Bethesda. What an absolute atrocious company.
Controller users even got some slight control changes, which does seem like a nice quality of life improvement. And for those of you playing on Steam, DRM is back for Skyrim. With the original Creations update, Bethesda accidentally broke the Steam integration, so this overlay wouldn't work.
What have they not broken? Every time Bethesda updates something, it introduces 20 new bugs and 5 new crashes. Every time Bethesda claims to fix a bug, it's not actually fixed, by the way, and they introduced a new bug. This is crazy. Does anyone at Bethesda even know what they're doing, honestly, at this point? It's absolutely wild.
Achievements weren't being tracked, and there was no DRM requirement, so you could temporarily launch Skyrim without having Steam installed at all if you wanted to. But of course now, all of that is fixed and back, although you still are not able to earn achievements when using mods or creations. Over the last month, there have been some general updates to the creations program. There were some pricing changes on these bundles, so everything got a slight price hike, as well as many of the creations themselves.
Dude, no, how long has... And already they're making price increases. Amazing. I'm speechless, honestly. This is great. I can't wait until Starfield has paid mods.
Did receive updates, but with this specific Skyrim update that launched earlier today, there is not any new paid content to purchase or really any notable pieces of new content at all. This really was just bug fixes, and very specifically bug fixes to this interface. Although all of this comes with one very notable side effect, mods breaking will likely be the largest change to come from this update for many of you, predominantly impacting
But of course. Oh, but absolutely, of course.
PC users, who will likely have a variety of their mods being broken now. If you are playing on console, you should be largely fine and can immediately continue to play. But on PC, if you just allowed your game to update, it's incredibly likely that some of your mods have broken, especially if you're using script extender based mods. The Skyrim script extender itself is currently outdated, as well as the address library has not updated yet. In all likelihood, we'll see updates to these either later today or in the next 48 hours or so, but then there's likely going to be several more mods that need to be updated in the aftermath of this over the next week or so. Thankfully here
Bro, no, I just love hearing Bethesda do things. It's always an absolute disaster.
Here you do have options. If you want to play Skyrim right now, you can downgrade to one of the older versions. I'll have links down below with some of the various tools, or you can just play on GOG.
Wait, what was that?
Downgrade to one of the older versions. I'll have links down below with some of the various tools.
It's just slightly buggy, but don't worry, it only costs like $5, so it's fine that it's that buggy. It doesn't cost 10, so for 5 something like this, good. Bro, I just from 1 to 10 I can't even.
Or you could just play on GOG, which has built-in version control and downgrading. A nice byproduct of this update is now the Steam and GOG builds of the game are identical. Previously, the GOG version was in this weird middle
The method doesn't work.
version, but thankfully now it's resolved. And if you're interested, I'll have a link to buy Skyrim on GOG with my affiliate code down below. And these updates for Skyrim have started to become into a larger problem for the community, because it's all just really a headache and leading to more community segregation. Following the release of the Creations update last year, lots of Skyrim players were just frustrated, partially because Bethesda was once again attempting to
by the way, Skyrim fans, how does it feel to celebrate your victory over there not being paid mods in Bethesda games? How does it feel to know that you lost, obviously? Bro, did you honestly think you won the last time that they tried to implement this and you said no? Do you actually think your no meant anything? You absolute dumbass. Do you really think Bethesda gave a single solid shit about your opinion about paid mods? No. No, they just removed it because their store had a lot of legal issues if they kept it up. That's it. Now that they think they have resolved it, but I'm sure something fun is gonna happen when people buy a mod and the mod author just says, you know what, I'm no longer updating this. Good luck, boys. Have fun on your own. I wonder what's gonna happen then. I really wonder.
Monetize the mod, but also because in their efforts to do so, they've led to a bunch of other mods breaking. You release this free creations thing with paid mods on it, but then of course the script extender breaks as that update does come out. And something that's really stemmed from these updates consistently messing with things is Skyrim versions are becoming increasingly separated. One of the most common pieces of advice when asking about how to deal with these updates to the game is to downgrade. This oftentimes to either version 1.6.640, the version before creations, or even further back to 1.5.97, the version before Anniversary Edition from several years ago. But then even further, of course, there's going to be a bunch of people playing on the first Creations update from December, and even some others who are playing on the latest Creations update from earlier today. And you can see...
Bruh, I just can't. Is Bethesda's coding just, a billion monkeys with typewriters? And then they just hope that something sticks?
From this recent poll on the Skyrim mods subreddit, right now the Skyrim modding community is quite evenly split using several distinct versions of the game. And it really just makes the whole process a bit messier. I'm sure some of you are watching right now who find all of these versions and complexity just a bit difficult to follow, when all you really want to do is download some cool mods for Skyrim. And even on the side of mod authors, having to now support several different versions of the game just adds to the headache and overall workload. And unfortunately, it isn't quite that simple either. There are a lot of users out there who will just say to go to version 1.5.97. Almost all of your mods will work there, but you may miss a few as some mods have never been released for this now several-year-old version of Skyrim. Alternatively, you could switch to 1.6.64, which has almost everything. There are just a few mods that never updated up to that build, but you will need to download one particular mod for certain things to work. Or update to one of the new versions, but then some of these older mods aren't working yet, so you'll have to find replacements, or you'll be consistently dealing with broken mods as each new update comes out and breaks them once again.
Again, you just honestly have to love Bethesda and the work that they put into the game. I don't think there exists another company that Ubisoft is kind of currently taking the cake. We don't already own games. But, people don't know that, honestly. But Ubisoft's idea is, you're gonna buy the game, and then you're not gonna own it, and then you're gonna have to pay a subscription fee to play it whenever you feel like it. Bro, Ubisoft, okay? And Bethesda, because Bethesda's probably just, one step away from doing something equally shitty. Well, actually, they have already done it by canceling their own launcher and telling everyone, hey! We're deleting your purchase of this game. Buy it again, loser. That was a nice touch, Bethesda. But Bethesda can do worse. Don't worry about it. Bethesda can always also do worse. But, hey, I have something to tell these gaming companies. If me buying the game for $70 or $50 or whatever means that I don't own it, that means that if I pirate it, it's also not bad because, you don't own it also. It is what it is, If you're gonna tell me I need to spend $70 and then a subscription fee for a game that's AAA garbage dumpster fire like Skyrim, Starfield, and all of that garbage, I'm just gonna pirate games forever. Because it's better. Shut up. And pirating is no longer like it was in the old days, by the way, for people who know about it. Remember when you had to pirate a game, you had to install the launcher, the script, the this, the that, do things in order? Bro, now piracy is literally like, you download it, you press one button, and bam, wham, pam, congratulations, instantaneously playable game. It's amazing, okay? I have absolutely no problem with pirating games, Bethesda. Ubisoft. Well, it's not like I will ever play an Ubisoft game. I have my frontal brain still functioning some magically, So, but, again, piracy is going to become more and more good as time passes.
And I think even from this brief description, you could start to see how this will very quickly turn somebody off from wanting to deal with modding the game altogether. And as I mentioned there's also just the issue of...
Also, less than 1% of the player base mods games. Okay? Less than 1% of the player base mods games. No one honestly mods games.
Of some mods not being updated yet. If you want to play on the newest version of Skyrim, you'll definitely have some large-scale mods that you can't use. Partially, this is because modders have just moved on. Bethesda updating the game periodically 10 years after release is pretty rough. You have to come back time and time again to get things working once again, and some people just can't be bothered. But particularly with this creation update that launched back in December, this brought larger changes and overhauls to the game, leading for some mods to require larger updates. The dress library alone didn't cover everything. So some of the very ambitious mods that even came out in 2023 no longer work on the newest version of Skyrim, like Skyclimb. But there's also a bunch of quality of life mods like Quick Loot or the Compass Navigation overhaul that have never been updated, or even some of the more technical mods that many consider essential like No Grass and Objects or the NetScript framework. To be clear, none of those mods even updated to the Creations version released in December.
Bro, I didn't even know that there's something called No Grass and Objects. Is that like a joke? Well, it's probably not a joke considering it's Bethesda.
Let alone the even newer update to drop earlier today. Although with that in mind, I think a lot of people here, your mods are...
Bro, why is he attacking my Argonian maid?
Broken, and do immediately apply that to all of the mods. As it stands
my lustful Argonian maid.
Right now, the vast majority of Skyrim mods out there have been updated to the Creations build of the game. Not necessarily updated for the latest build that released earlier today, but to the version that was released in December. So if you want to stick there and wait for things to update, you very much so can do so. You might have to find a few replacements for singular mods, but largely you'll...
By the way, I love Skyrim logic. You have this blade that's enchanted with the ability to steal souls and cut through armor like butter. What do? Well, you punch them in the face with your fist. Or, kind of hilt. It is what it is.
You'll be okay. But even with that in mind, it seems like many in the modding community are choosing to stay on some of the older builds of the game, and that's for good reason. Simplicity and safety. Who knows how many more updates Skyrim's going to get in 2024, even 25 and 26? How many more times this year will you have to deal with putting your game on hold for a couple of days while you wait for certain things to update? There's a lot of people that just...
A lot. We're talking about Bethesda a lot, so yeah. Man. I love how Bethesda shafts their loyal fans. I absolutely just love it.
Don't want to deal with that at all, and as such are sticking to older versions. Although, even with that in mind, there is at least one genuine and very impactful change that did come from the Creations update that is a consideration here, as there was a surprise increase in size limits for ESL files with that update. ESL files came from Creation Club, and their main benefit is instead of counting towards that age-old 255 mod limit, ESL files have their own separate and much higher limit. So effectively, it's almost like you're using a free mod slot. But there is a downside. ESL files have limited space, and as such are only for smaller mods. Some of the largest mods still will have to count towards that limit, but thankfully with the Creations update, the space limit for ESL files was doubled. This giving mod authors way more space to work with and just a lot more flexibility. So while this is great for modding capabilities, this is also somewhat problematic, as if you try and load one of these larger ESL files on one of the older, downgraded versions of the game, like this one from before the Creations update, your game will immediately crash. So this would be an issue. New mods come out.
No, this is an issue.
Using the extra space, but since you're on the older version, you can actually download some new mods. But thankfully, Skyrim modding is awesome, so almost immediately Nukem backported this change to the older versions of Skyrim with the mod backported extended ESL.
Of course there's a mod for that. It just makes sense.
support, so all of the benefits of expanded space from the Creations update, but while sticking to your older and protected version of Skyrim. And even some of the most popular mods out there will require this. There were some other changes around plugin versioning with this past update, so if you download something like the unofficial Skyrim patch, but you're using it for an older version of the game, you'll very likely need Nukem's mod to not immediately crash on launch. So as it stands right now, Skyrim...
I love how the mods need mods to play mods, so you can get more mods that need more mods. It's just like an Ouroboros.
Really find itself in a weird and kind of uncomfortable position. It's not like the game's outright broken. It's not like free mods are going away forever, but the community is definitely growing increasingly frustrated with Bethesda and the consistent attempts to monetize.
Well, the community can be as frustrated with Bethesda as they please, but Bethesda doesn't get... Again, if you're a Skyrim fan, if you're a Bethesda fan, understand this. Bethesda literally does not care about you. They probably actively are laughing and mocking you. It is what it is.
Mods, which in turn lead...
Stop being fans of gaming companies. It's only gonna get you pain.
To a lot of headaches for those modding for free, particularly on PC. And even further, the entire launch of this program has just kind of been odd. We get this initial batch of paid mods, and of course applications opening up for more to join this verified creators program, but nothing else has actually happened. As far as I can tell, there are no new verified creators ever since this has actually launched. Bethesda did describe how they're going to be working through applications.
Well, yeah, how many verified creators do you think there gonna be? There's probably like, I don't know, 10, 20 verified creators that are gonna exist. It's gonna be a racket, boys. Again, as I said before, I think the verified creators are gonna be so little that people are gonna make mods for the verified creators, and then to give to the verified creators that are gonna sell the mods, and then they're gonna split the revenue. Dude, being a verified creator is probably bigly, okay? Because Bethesda also probably doesn't have a rule against uploading anyone else's mod if you have if they allow you to do it. So there you go, free real estate, bruh. It's being like the middleman. And the moment Bethesda understands, wait a minute, these verified creators are being middlemen and they're taking away money from us. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Over the course of January though, but even further, there also have been just no news about more releases. Are we getting another batch of paid mods before this summer at any point in
Hell yeah, dude, every day you're getting a new paid mod. It is what it is, baby boo.
Quarter 1 of 2024? It really feels like they kind of just launched this thing and then immediately went silent. It's almost like Bethesda
What did you expect from Bethesda? Them to actually keep on caring?
Didn't want to be too loud about it because they knew it would be controversial, but then in turn, for people who actually are kind of interested to see what happens next, they've also just been quiet.
Classic Skyrim gameplay experience, by the way, there, if you did not know this. Big...
For people who actually are kind of interested...
Companion? Well, actually, no, this is not a companion, this is just a random NPC. Preventing you from entering a door.
Interested to see what happens next, they've also just
Classic.
been quiet. I legitimately have no idea when we might see more paid mods released for Skyrim. It could be March, it could be June, or who knows, it could even be August. But then also, looking at this brand new Elder Scrolls release, earlier today Bethesda finally shared new info on the Elder Scrolls castles on Twitter, saying,
yeah, I'm not gonna... Oh, there's Todd Howard, I saw it. Okay, what does our favorite snake soul potato tell us?
Elder Scrolls. In the past, we have seen Todd Howard talking about...
Oh no, Todd Howard! I wanted to hear Todd Howard speak and tell me sweet little lies. Man, that's disappointing. Anyway, that was our boy's juicy head. It is what it is, boys. If you're a Bethesda fanboy, it is what it is. What a time to be alive. Anyway, this was Quizzer Citizen. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.